In this how to improve squeegee tutorial, you're going to learn what this technique is.
Move.
And also the importance of using references.
Okay, so let's go on to part two. I'm a little bit annoyed actually that the people who I've been talking to for the last, I would say, 4 or 5 weeks, constant questions. They're not even commented on my video. I did say to them that I was going to be putting a video together specifically to help them. Not one of them have commented yet. A little bit naughty. Right, so some more truth. I know most people don't like the truth, so I'm going to go as easy as I can. But let's focus on the facts. So I wanted to make sure that the things that I said previously in that video that I made about people who are on YouTube, because YouTube window cleaners are great to use as a reference, especially the ones that have been around for a long time. Because I can't really talk about general window cleaners, the people that I know, because there's no reference. But window cleaning on YouTube window cleaners are great for references. It's not really comparing, it's just saying that's that, this is this, look at the difference, can you see what I'm talking about? So I wanted to make sure that the things that I was saying about people not really progressing for many years prior, using the same tools, same soap method, solutions, same, everything the same, working longer, harder, slower, getting less results. So yeah, and also for window cleaning Anthony, I know he's only joking, but when we're working per job. We're not getting paid per minute, so we're not trying, well, maybe you are, maybe you're very lucky. You don't want to be drawing out as long as possible the job. You want to get the high quality results as well, because you want the callbacks. You want to make sure that you're doing the job at the best ability so you can go back and do it again. But you want to be cutting down that time. So efficiency and effectiveness for me as a window cleaner is very important. Might not be so for other window cleaners, but I need to be making as much money at the end of it. It's all at the end of the day, we go to work for money. I want to make as much money as I can in the littlest amount of time. So references, I wanted to make sure that what I was saying was accurate. So I went and watched the latest Steve-O video of him working and the latest Mark Henderson video of him working. And I wasn't looking at what tools they were using. I wasn't looking at the techniques they were doing. And I wasn't wanting to stay on the videos for too long because I only wanted to look at one thing. And that is the foundation that they're working on. So to build a house, you want to build on very firm foundations. And if you don't build on firm foundations, if you build a house on sand, then it will subside and it will fall down. So you've got much more stability if you build on a very firm foundation. So they're two different window cleaners. They're both very competent, but one's much more skillful and able with the squeegee than the other. And the reason why one is better than the other is because one has a better foundation to work on. So all I wanted to see on the videos was, what's their solution look like? And who's working longer, harder, slower and getting less results out of the two of them? There is nothing that I'm going to learn that's going to benefit me with my work, but I wanted to make sure that I'm using the correct references. So because who knows, people might have took on board the things that I've said many times, and they're actually really performing at a really high rate, and they're using the highest performing squeegee in the world. I'm going to be using the best squeegee in the world in a minute, because that's the only standard squeegee now that I've got to demonstrate on, because I've got rid of all my standard squeegees. Now to me they're all substandard, but to the majority of people who work on the sort of level playing field of working as a window cleaner, it's standard, because standard is standard. It's like the gold standard. You've got imperial and you've got metric, and imperial was always known as the standard. But metric is obviously easier and makes a lot more sense using the metric system. But imperial is known as standard. Right, so moving on. One's working more fluently, and that's probably the best word to sum it up. One's more skillful, one's getting less detailing. Why is he getting less detailing? The reason why he's getting less detailing, he's got better manoeuvres with his squeegee, he's using his positioning better. Not to a level that I would say is acceptable, but he's using his squeegee, he's getting more work out of his squeegee. He's not got the runs, because there was lots of runs and loose sloppy solution, you're going to have a sloppiest technique. But both are very competent window cleaners. But unfortunately, none of them guys could work for me, because I would only accept a higher standard, not the standard, to work with. But they're both very good at what they're doing. So, why is one better than the other? One's got a better solution. So just eyeball, look at the solution that Mark Henderson's got, and look at the solution that Steve-O's got, and then you can just see the difference in how each are working. Well, so both window cleaners are very competent, they've got lots of knowledge, and they've been doing it a very long time, and they're at a pretty reasonable high standard, one higher than the other. But in window cleaning there's levels and there's divisions, just like there is with, let's say, football, lots of divisions, lower the leagues, the higher leagues. What you want to be, in my honest opinion, is not even in the league in the first place. Be in your own league. So, you know, I'm not putting anybody down here. I'm just using them guys as references. So, 2 washers. I want to show you that there's a way of working with whatever squeegee you got. Obviously, you're going to be working longer, harder, slower, and getting these results with these squeegees, no matter what. But there's a way of making them work more effectively and more efficiently, and that's exactly how I started. When I came to YouTube, although I was modifying and improving the squeegees, before I came to YouTube, I didn't really talk about it until I would say 3-4 months into YouTube. I was just showing you could use a standard tool, take it much further than you could if you were just working at the standard way. So 2 washers. I'm going to use the best squeegee in the world. My favourite Sawbo squeegee was the 30-inch. Great squeegee to work with, and it's the best because if you go on the website it says the best, so you've got to believe it's the best. Right, so I've got a solution very similar to how Steve's was, and it's very loose and it's sloppy, and I'm going to put the squeegee in the right place at the right time, and because this squeegee is so big I can go around in a full circle and make a minimum move. But the problem is I've got a load of detailing, I've got a bit of a scuff mark here, and I've got lots of actually solution here where it's just lifted off completely. Now, how do I get that squeegee to perform better? Right, so I don't use soap added to the water. This is a wet washer. I'm going to add a bit of soap to my washer, and you're going to see straight away the difference in the soap solution. And the benefit of having the soap solution is, number one, you can see better what you're doing, but I've got a better foundation to work on no drips. So Steve had a lot of drips in his video. Right, so I've got a much better performance, and I've still got the detailing. I've got a little bit of a lift here, but generally speaking I've got a better performance. The squeegee was easy to use. More importantly, I could put the squeegee in the right position easier than I could with the previous, which is why Mark Henderson performs better with a squeegee, because he can put his squeegee in the right place easier and better and get the squeegee to... When you're squeegeeing glass, by the way, the squeegee is doing most of the work, and then the detailing is left for the, you know, the cloth is the excess and mistakes made. That's the icing on the cake. And the icing on the cake for using the liquidator is the zero detailing. That's the icing on the cake. But the majority of the work's done with the squeegee. That is where you use a squeegee, otherwise you'd be using a cloth to clean the windows, wouldn't you? So the squeegee does the majority, but you know, for most people that's acceptable, but for me it's not, because I'm not in this league of working like every anybody else. And I advise anybody who wants to improve and make more money in less time to just get out of the league of the division 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's say, as an example, just work in your own league as a window cleaner. Perform better, and you perform better by having a firm foundation to work on. You get as good as you can get with the tools that you've existing got, what you're using it right now. And that's exactly what happened to me when I first got onto YouTube. Although I was pre-YouTube, I was modifying and trying to get my squeegees to perform better. I was using standard tools, and that's any tool, because the liquidator wasn't around then, and let these cars all go past. I was getting the tools to perform better by the extra positioning power I was getting, the decrease in detailing I was getting, and I was only getting that by using this firm foundation to work on. Mark Henderson got less detailing, and he got no drips, and he was doing no straight pulls. And talking about straight pulls, let's have a quick demonstration of straight pulls. Right, so if I've got this soap solution and I'm buffing up right to the roof of the frame, it's wet here, so when we're doing the standard straight pull, we're not cutting in, we're just doing this. What we've got is, we've got solution, drips. This is not effective. It's not pulling the water away. You're just pushing it up and down. What you got to do, well, first of all, what you got to do is change your soap solution. So even if you want to do the movement, you got less chance of drips, right? You got less chance because it's more stable, more static. But let's not do the move. Let's do the move. What's the difference? The difference is, what did I do differently? I did this. I didn't do this. So I pulled only one way. Obviously harder to do, takes more accuracy and skill, but more effective. So 2 tips here. When you're doing the pole work, try and just pull and also get the firm foundation to work on. You got less chance of drips. So what have I talked about? I've talked about, there's so many things I can address. I want to keep this video short. Oh yeah, window cleaning Anthony. He's a funny guy. Right, so, this is another good thing to talk about. Right, let's stick on the firm foundation to work on. Remember watching videos of Sorbo years ago, and he said efficiency. So the longer the squeegee, the least moves you can make, the quicker you can work. So let's just check this out. Yes, you might be right. You might be onto something. So majority done, but the accuracy is below standard. Well, depending on what your standard is, it's below my standard. So if I was to detail that, you know, I'm gonna have to take my time. I should really be timing it, but let's not bother. Let's soap up again. Now I'm gonna make 4 moves with a squeegee half the size. Okay, so I moved more, so I worked harder, but did I work longer, slower, and did I get less results? Well, overall, if you time the amount of work that's involved with, even if I'm using that small movement with that big squeegee, if you add all the time up of all the extra work that's involved with the detailing, I'll be working a lot quicker using this tool, which is half the size, but it's refined. And window cleaning, in terms of effectiveness and efficiency, comes down to squeegeeing and being refined and getting it to perform at high quality rate. Now, the biggest annoyance for me with Moorman is they never bothered to do the inserts in their end clips. So although you don't have to pay for the inserts, I just use paper clips. It's really annoying because they should be covering all bases, because they've got the tool. They've got the tool to work very, very effectively, but it works more effectively if that rubber is pinned. And it's just lazy, in my opinion, that Mormon didn't tick the last box that needed ticking to go to the world and say, well, they won't be silly and say it's the best squeegee in the world, like some people say. They could easily say it's the most efficient, most effective, most versatile, most adaptable, most precise squeegee in the world. But they don't say that. I have to say that. Because I've put the pin, the insert, in that channel for it to say that. But I don't call it the best. It's the best for me, for how I work, but it's not the best for most people. And the reason why it's not the best is because the foundation that people work on is not suitable, their skill set is not suitable, and their way of working is just not suitable for that tool to perform.